Hello everyone, welcome to the new and improved Garden Morpher 2 tier list. I never done one on this channel, I only did it on my old one. And it's possibly the worst tier list I've ever seen in my life, that old one. But I think this one's a bit better. But yes, so I'm just going to talk through it, character class at a time. It'll only be brief, but So let's start with Citrons. I don't like the Citrons too much if I'm being honest, but I do think Iron Citron is a contender for the best plant in the game. But yeah, then there's these two. Party Citron is an upgrade to Base Citron, which is always nice. And Frozen Citron is the plant Arctic Trooper, basically. And Base Citron, it's just I don't like Citrons. And then these two, worst character in the game, and this thing. No, I think most people agree that they're down there. But next will be the Imps, and I like the Imps. I think Imps are a very strong class. So we got Z7 and Scallywag at the top. Z7 because, well, he's a bit OP. Scallywag because, well, he's also a bit OP. Party Imp, he's good. He's very, very good. And his mech is the best one. Maybe. Base Imp, it's just a downgrade to Party Imp, but, it's still amazing because Party Imp is amazing. Little Drake's arguably an upgrade to basic, but the imp is better, the mech is worse. And then Pylon, I just really like Pylon Imp. I think the Bling Pylon mech is my favourite mech, to be honest. And I like his primary. And Shrimp, he's too slow. His rate of fire is slow in the imp, but his mech's primary is quite good. Next is, I don't remember the order. It's either Corn or Rose. I'm going to go with Rose next. Overall, Rose is probably my favourite plant class. That's why Necrose is the best one of the roses in the top tier because she's just a bit OP. Base Rose and Party Rose, they just kill you. They just get the job done perfectly fine. Druid Rose is a contender for easiest character to play in the game. And Frost Rose, I'd tell you, is underrated. I think it's arguably better than Party. Yeah. And Fire Rose is a bit worse than the rest, but still get the job done. Next will be the Super Brains. Toxic Brains is in top tier. I'm pretty sure everybody in the planet agrees with that. And Party Brains, he's very good. He's annoying to face against, so Reg Brains is just Party Brains without party time, basically. And then Electro Brains and Breakfast Brains are still good. They're just very outclassed these days. And then Cosmic Brains. I tell you what, he's good for town hall events usually, but outside of that, he's awful. Right, next will be the corns. Base corn and party corn are top tier. Party corn's the best one, and the other contender for best plant in my opinion. But yeah, they're just OP. My highest plant kill streaks are with them. And then it goes to these three corns. I think Pops is the third best. Quite underrated. Mob Cob is a worse version of base corn, but base corn's top tier, so it's not that bad. Commander Corn is a bit overrated. He just feels weird. And then Barbecue Corn, he's okay, which is why he's in the decent tier, obviously. It'd be nice if he did a bit more damage. Next is Deadbeard, Captain Cannon. Don't need to explain that. He's just a bit OP, isn't he? Captain Sharkbite, incredible though. I just really like Captain Sharkbite. I've always really liked Captain Sharkbite. And then Deadbeard and Party Man, very solid characters. I can see why you might even consider Reg Deadbeard as the best Deadbeard, but I don't agree. Next, Flameface is a step down from the rest, but you can still do some things. And then Captain Squawk. Captain Squawk, I'd agree with the Wolfie Plays argument for that one, about him being good in soil and stuff. But then, move to the pea shooters. I don't like this character class. I think it's awful. But I do like Agent P the most. And then Electro P. I don't like Electro P. Easy to play, stupid. But you know, it is kind of OP still. I think Captain Cannon is better though. Lord P and Plasma P are very good. Lord P, if you got skill, he could arguably top tier if you're really good at him. Plasma P, all the max ranks use him just to bully people. And it's kind of funny but also kind of annoying. Commando P is solid. You know, a fully auto character, you can't go wrong with it really. He's kind of accurate. He's not inaccurate or accurate, he's just, you can land most shots. And then these pea shooters, I don't care about them, they just exist. Except from Ice P, I like Ice P, but then it's still one of the weaker ones. And then Rock P is terrible. The only reason it's not bottom tier is because it's still a pea shooter. So it has Hyper, P Gatling, and Beam Bomb. Next is the Soldier. Base Soldier is top tier. He's the best soldier in my opinion. And then all but 2 soldiers find themselves in incredible. I was very tempted to put Sky Trooper in top tier, but then I figured he doesn't quite compare to the people in top tier. Same with Scuba Soldier, but you know, he's just OP. So he's OP, but he's not really. It's hard to explain. Camo Ranger, people might have him lower, but I like Camo Ranger. Super Commando could be top tier, but you know, I just don't really like him that much. Arctic Trooper, he destroys most planets in 1v1s, but then loses everywhere else. Tank Commander is good if you know how to play him. Park Ranger, same thing. Next, we move on to Sunflowers. And the best Sunflower in the game, in my opinion, is Stuffy Flower, followed by Sunpharaoh. Sunpharaoh is kind of underrated. I don't think many people would agree with having her this high, which I understand, but Sunpharaoh. And then, I like Shadow Flower because it's very accurate. Vampire Flower's gimmick is alright, but I feel like it dies too easily. Mystic Flower is surprisingly powerful. And Alien Flower, I was tempted to put in Incredible, but I don't think Alien Flower matches up to things like okay, what does she not match up to? I don't think it matches up to things like the Scuba Soldier, really. But then we get these two, they're just good. They're just a basic Sunflowers, really. And then Power Flower is just a downgrade of base. And Metal Petal, I don't know. Meh. Then we move to who is next? Why am I already losing track? Let's say the Scientist, because healers, you know. Computer Scientist used to be my favourite character in the game. Still up there, but not quite there. Then we've got these ones as the second tier of Scientists. Marine Biologist was going to put up there, but then his reload is way too slow, in my opinion. Same with Chemist. Chemist is the same reason. Zoologist is good. Physicist, people underrate him too much. It's disrespectful. Then these 3, I mean, really, Paleontologist should be up there with the rest. I just don't like it that much. Dr. Toxic is easily the worst Scientist, but he's still a solid character. Archaeologist is basically the Paleontologist, but I prefer it for some reason. Next, we move on to let's do the Cacti. Now, Cacti is a decent character class. Future and Petrified are easily the best ones, by quite far in my opinion. I mean, they are OP, so Zen's gimmick can be useful, but it can be difficult to use for sometimes. And these 3 are just solid. They're good characters. Nothing bad. Nothing special. Then we have Jade and Bandit and Power. They're just alright. I like Jade's gimmick. I was gonna put Jaden good, but I think it just doesn't quite compare to the likes of Torchwood and the ICP. Did I forget to address these two? They're just a bit meh. Next will be the where is it? I know there's still a few cacti I haven't said. The camo cactus. Look at this thing. My least favourite character in the game. Let's order this. Electric Citron's the worst, but camo cactus is my least favourite. It's just I don't get it. I don't like this character. I don't know why so many people do, to be honest. It's like it's meant to be very accurate, but it's really not accurate. And the recoil is annoying. If you'd even call it recoil. But you know. Next we move on to the let's say engineer. The best engineer is mechanic, without a doubt. It's basically Reg Soldier, but more inaccurate, and the engineer abilities, which I think is a downgrade personally, but you know. Next is the painter, which is just solid, very good. The sniper, landscaper is solid. People underrate him a bit. Sanitation expert, straight upgrade at the base engineer, massive upgrade in fact. And I don't get why people don't like him. I feel like the main reason a lot of people don't like him is because a lot of the popular Garden Warfare 2 YouTubers don't like him. Next is these engineers. Now this is where I dump most of the engineers, so I don't really like the engineer class as a whole. I was going to put welder in good, but you know I will put welder in good, because welder can do some special stuff. But these ones are they just exist. Rody Z, I don't like the way he plays. You could argue he's just a chemist, but an engineer. But I don't like the Rody Z symbol. Reg engineer, sanitation expert's better. Electrician, he's decent. He's just reload is painful. Plumber is the worst engineer in my opinion. AC Perry, he don't do enough damage for me. Next, the final plant we're covering. Well, one of. Next we are covering the Chomper. Now the best Chomper is Hot Rod Chomper. It's not much of a question for me. But he's only in solid because I don't really like Chompers as a whole. That's a pretty popular opinion as well. But then these three are definitely the next best ones. Disco Chomper's kind of underrated, but then again he's kind of bad for a legendary. Count Chomper's gimmick's helpful. Twilight Chomper, Twilight Warp's kind of OP and he's fast. These four even, I forgot about Fire Chomper. Fire Chomper was originally down there, but then I said the Fire Chomper is definitely a lot better than the Armor Chomper. Chomp Thing's gimmick can be helpful. A lot of people don't like it. I think it's cool. Base, it's alright. Then Unicorn is kind of like playing a scientist, but then it's a Chomper, so it's got a massive hitbox. Next is these four. Power, I was gonna put in decent, but he like overheats too fast. Toxic's just weak. Yeti Chomper is also just a bit weak, and his projectile drop off is awful. And then Armor Chomper, it's the exact opposite of Hot Rod Chomper, and that should explain it all. Next, we are going to say we saved one of the best classes to last, in my opinion. That being the All Stars. Now, I might main the goalie star a bit, so that might be why he's in top tier, to be honest. But I do think there's a good argument for him being up there without the biased. And then we have these. These are the best ones, except from him. Baseball and hockey, because of DPS, their DPS is actually very good. And then Regal Star is just very powerful. He's just straight up powerful. Cricket Star, he just feels a bit weak, to be honest. He has a bit of a drop off as well. Quite a bad drop off. And then Rugby Star doesn't really have much of a drop off, but then he overheats way too fast. Tennis Star, same problem as Rugby Star, but his primary ain't as strong in the first place. Wrestling. I like the idea of wrestling style, but his damage drop off ruins him a bit. Then Gold Star. Why does the screen have to shake while she's firing? If the screen didn't shake, I would probably put him in solid or something, but the screen makes it annoying to play. And then Motocross is probably the worst All-Star, but you can still get the job done. Then finally, we cover Hovergoat and Torchwood. Torchwood's good. I just think he dies very quickly because people see Torchwood and think kill it now. And he's just cheese. All of his abilities are just stupid. Well, that's it. He's basically carried by his abilities. Most Torchwood mains you see spam the abilities. It's annoying as well. Hovergoat. Hovergoat's just good. He's like another downgrade to Reg Soldier. There's a lot of Reg Soldier downgrades. But yeah. So, this was my Garden Warfare 2 tier list. Make sure to leave what in the comments below what you guys think of it, if you think I've done anything stupid here. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.